はい、お待たせいたしました。次のタイトルは、サイレントヒルホームカミングです。こちらは解説の方いらっしゃらないので、解説できますという方は飛び入りでも構いませんし、ゲーム知っている方は、チャットの方で解説していただいても全然構いませんので、よろしくお願いします。で一応始まる前に、軽くゲームのことだけ調べてきたので、それをポツポツと展開していこうと思います。このゲームは PS3、Xbox 360、PC で発売されているタイトルですね。で発売日は2008年の9月30日で、国内は未発売ですね。開発が海外なんですけど、ローカライズはコナミが担当しているようなんですが、コナミからによると、えー日本の市場に合った製品にならなかったという理由で、ローカライズ日本の発売が中止になったとされています。おそらく理由の一つが、残酷すぎる描写が、ちょっと大きすぎたっていう理由で、日本に受け入れられなかったっていう判断をして、中止になったんじゃないかなって言われてますね。なんで、まあ、今からの映像ちょっと残酷な表現が、多いゲームかもしれません。
has been an official supporter of Games Done Quick events since 2011. Over $1 million have been donated to GDQ charities. As well, all profits from the SGDQ 2020 collection go to Doctors Without Borders.
このサイレントヒルホームカミングは今、ビット、ドネーションによる決定事項が2つありまして、一つ目がコスチュームのチョイスですね。これは主人公のアレックスの、服装ですかね。今のところ1位が、ボギーマンアレックス。これが350度が入ってますね。で、二つ目がエンディングチョイス。これは、Ufo エンディングが今のところ1位ですね。これは、あれですかね。サイレントヒルシリーズの、恒例のギャグエンドみたいな感じだと思いますけど。
This is amazing. Thank you so much for doing it. We have $25 from Captain Balcon saying, "Loving the energy, dude. Great run of a great game." All right, now we're ready to send it on over to an interview with Spike Vegeta and Schmumbler.
Hello, welcome everyone back to Summer Games Done Quick 2020. I am Spike Vegeta, and I have the pleasure of being joined by one of the greatest runners in the horror community. We got Schmumbler right here, current world record holder for a lot of categories in Silent Hill.
日本では未発売っていうこともあって、プレイするなら輸入版を手に入れるしかないと思うので、おそらくプレイしたことあるっていう人は、かなり少ないんじゃないかなと思います。
I'm doing great. Yeah, definitely excited for your run. I'm always
輸入版だと、多分日本語もないでしょうし。
Definitely looking forward to. I've never seen a homecoming run until I did some research for this one. We'll get into that here in a second. But start off, I want to ask you, in my free time, myself and a group of my very nerdy speedrun friends have enjoyed predicting the GDQ games list and analyzing hundreds of different speed games every 6 months. For a long time, the Silent Hill community has been offering Homecoming, and it's awesome to see the passion of the community and your hard work be paid off by its inclusion in marathons like
Steam による販売はされてますけど、日本からだと購入はできないですね。
particular speed games come from? Why this above so many others?
So I think that's kind of a two-part answer. I think a big part of it is just Homecoming has always been one of the two black sheep of the Silent Hill franchise. And, you know, at least for me, a big draw for Homecoming is taking that one of those few Silent Hill games that just everybody hates on and turning it into something just incredible to witness and to play.
I've said it many times for speed games over the years. Sonic 06, not a good video game, but can be an amazing speed run, actually. We've got awful block and that sort of stuff here at GDQs. Just because something isn't necessarily well received casually could still be an amazing speed run. So, and watching through it, it definitely looks like that. I want to ask you, as part of the Silent Hill speedrunning community and the great horror speedrunning community as a whole, give me your top 3 speed games from the genre.
So that's actually a pretty tough question.
Yeah, a lot of good ones.
Yeah, and I haven't really touched a whole lot of them myself personally, and I'd hate to mention Homecoming because that just kind of feels like cheating a little bit. But,
but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. But I would say Amnesia is definitely up there. If anybody saw that earlier, just the amount of out of bounds that you can do in that game is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Second one, I'd have to go with Clock Tower 3, just because I do have that kind of soft spot for the more cheesy horror games. And
for sure,
when you have a speed run about a video game where half the time you're just optimizing movement as much as you can, and the other half you're turning into a magical girl anime, it's just really fun.
Dang, now I want to see a run of Clock Tower 3 all of a sudden. I've messed with Resident Evil, I'm messing with Silent Hill later this year. Never Clock Tower. You might have just sold me on it, my friend.
Yeah, third one I'd say would probably go to Silent Hill 3, just because it tends to be a pretty easy one to pick up, but especially lately they've been finding some new out-of-bounds tricks that kind of cuts down a good amount of time, a couple minutes here and there. It's Silent Hill games in general are just really easy to pick up, so it's a good beginner's game that has a pretty high skill ceiling.
日本人奏者の方の話がチャットでちょっと出たので、改めてちょっと告知というかお話ししておきますか。今回の SGDQ2020 に参加される日本人奏者さん、3人いらっしゃいます。本家のスケジュールを見て、お話ししますけれども、今のところは8月の19日の、AM1 時半、約1時半から、スーパードンキーコング2、トンコツさん走られます。で、8月22日の AM12 時20分頃、パズルボブル2、ポシさんが走られます。で、8月23日の AM1 時頃に、東方文化庁、ピンチさんが走られます。で、時間の方は、今回ちょっとかなり、前後してるっていうところもあって、しっかりした時間を確認したいという方は、本家の SGDQ の、スケジュールの方を確認していただくと、本家の方は随時更新されているので、正確な時間がわかると思います。
And notice some pretty awesome boss fights, precise movement, and crazy looking clips, actually. Which single part of the run are you most nervous for this SGDQ showcase?
So, if you asked me a week ago, that would be the pillar climb, but I've actually managed to find a way to make that pretty consistent. Now, I'd say there's a spot after the first boss fight where, well, no, actually, I guess before the first boss fight, where we're trying to get through a hotel. And there's just a pretty good series, about 3 minutes long, of back-to-back skips that are all really hard. At that point, you don't have the shotgun, which is our primary clipping method in the game. And so having to make do with just a knife and a pistol, it can get a little tough.
It's watching it, there was a certain amount of jank to it watching those versions of the clips where you could tell like you had to reapply it many times and then barely kind of turn it. Again, don't want to spoil it too much, but watch out, guys. This is not your standard horror game. Tonight, we're going to be seeing some clips and other craziness by Schmumbler. Again, we'll be running all bosses, new game plus. Schmumbler, best of luck, my friend. Hope the run goes well. And we will see you guys for that on this very next run here at Summer Games Done Quick 2020. See you, everybody.
All right, we are back from that great interview with Schmumbler and Spike Vegeta. Let's take through some more donations, shall we? We have $25 from the M saying, first time donating to this year's SGDQ online, but it won't be the last. Keep it up. We have $50 from Bedford saying, donation from Japan. Keep up the great work. Night Crew. We have $250 from FSS Zilla 255 saying, glad this event has been going strong, even with all the potential setbacks. Quest 64 is an unsung gem for me that I'm glad to see getting a little more respect these days, faults and all. Maybe it's because the mechanics are kind of like Undertale. Good luck on the run. All right, and with that, we're all ready to go. I'm going to shoot you guys on over to Schmumbler with Silent Hill Homecoming. Take it away.
お、始まりそうですね。
Good morning,
Good morning,
SGDQ.
everybody.
I'm Schmumbler, and this is going to be
ビッ
Homecoming.
トの状況を再確認しましたけど、まあ、覆らなさそうですね
So。let's go ahead and get this started. Actually, whoops.
Ufo End は、まあ、今のところぶっちぎりで
That is
1
a
位
bad
です、
habit
ね。
of mine. But
2位と、まあ、大体700ドル差がつ
Oh
いて
yeah,
ます、ね。
because we had a
So
we had
do we
a
have
incentive, did
an
we
idea
not?
on what completed that?
Couple of
Yes, we did.
incentives.
All right. I think it was the Boogeyman costume,
Yeah, I'm
right?
pretty sure it was Bogeyman. People want to see that big helmet on Alex.
All right. Classy choice. So just a head start on that. The costumes in this game, they don't really make any difference as far as the gameplay goes. Doesn't change. No, I don't.
お、昨日2000ドル爆撃とかあったんですか？なるほど。
There we go. Okay, but yeah, making sure we actually pick the costume this time.
All right, you ready for that donation choice for costume? Okay. It
コスチュー
looks
ムは、
like, let me just
ボ
check
ギーマン、
here.
ブギー
Oh,
マ
I
ン
have to
アレ
check
ックスですね。
Hold on, let's see.
Yeah. Oh, it's Bogeyman. I already know. I got the feeling.
Pretty sure it is. I just want to double check. All right.
If it's
It
not, we're
is
restarting again, but I'm
Bogeyman
pretty sure it
Alex
is.
with $350. So we'll
Sweet
be
action.
seeing that.
タイマー
Bogeyman.
はまだ
Pretty sure
動
it
い
was-
てなさ
yeah,
そう
pretty
で
sure it
す
was
け
gonna
ど
be the boogeyman. Seems to be very popular for some reason.
Everyone that donated for that, thank you. You picked the best choice.
Starwin was so thrilled.
Oh, hands down.
I'm totally sold right now.
But anyway, like I was saying with this, the costumes don't really make a whole lot of difference gameplay-wise. They don't change your hitbox or anything. It's purely cosmetic.
ああ、はい。タイマーは操作可能になってからという
It
こ
still
とで
doesn't affect any of the clipping, but the pyramid head is so big. It makes it a little difficult to see what I'm doing.
As well, speaking of the donation incentives, do you want to be keeping a lookout on which one's going to be winning the ending choice?
Yep. So, let's see. Once we get to the prison section, I'll give a heads up on that, but that's when
Sounds
we'll
all
need to
good.
close
And as
that.
a quick reminder for that, currently UFO is leading with $839, while Good Ending is following remotely closely with $140. As well, anything can still catch up at this point, and we have until then. So keep those donations rolling.
No, not
All
yet.
right. Well, no, not yet. It's gonna start when I do the first
あ
input.
こ
on this
の
quick
三
input
角の
method.
やつって、
So I'll
コ
kind
ス
of
チュー
stand on
ムの
So three,
影響なん
2,
ですね。
1, and go.
All right.
Homecoming.
グッドラックです。
Hello, GDQ.
Yes.
Yeah. So this game is definitely one of the black sheep, other than Downpour in the Silent Hill franchise. But as far as the speed game goes, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of quirky stuff.
全体的にかなり暗いですね。
Taking advantage of the fact that your momentum gets conserved when you're going into cutscenes lets me go to this keypad right away instead of waiting for a couple
And that
seconds.
keypad right there is a little rough. It's very easy for the game to be like, no, you totally didn't hit a button. So you got to be very precise on that keypad.
You know, it's real bad when you lose a run within the first 10 seconds just because the keypad doesn't want to cooperate.
ちなみにカテゴリーはオールボスシーズの NG プラスってことですけど、NG プラスってことは、まあ、何かパラメータ、まあ、レベルみたいなものってあるんですかね。
Yeah, it's the very first one.
It's really front loaded on that too.
Yeah, I was about to say, they all
Most
seem
of
to
the
happen up
cutscenes
front,
can't
yeah.
skip.
By the way, for anybody wondering, I saw somebody in chat say couch shout out. I am an eternal enigma here on the virtual couch.
And I am Starwin, also on the virtual couch.
Very comfortable, very familiar to me.
Oh yeah. Looking to my right, I can see you right there.
Yeah, I know.
Visualize it.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, so on this couch, you got yourselves pretty much 3 of the top 5 homecoming runners. So it's really great to have these two with me.
And it's great to be here. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Starwood in particular has been a hell of a thorn in my side for this world record.
Yeah, they go back and forth, and I'm over here like, hey, can I have world record for like 15 seconds? That's all I want. I just want 15 seconds, and you guys can play ping pong with it again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
Not to undermine Enigma's contribution to all of this, he was my main competition for a long time when I first started off. Had a few exchanges with him as well.
That's what
Here
makes
we're coming up on our first little bug or glitch.
bug. I get it. That's real funny.
Clever wordplay. But yeah, they kind of
今作、主人公は自分を軍人と思い込んでいる精神異常者なので、肉弾戦がとても強いです。そうなんですか。
Oh yeah. Yeah, so typically before
催
we
眠
would
で
want
強
to
くなっ
try
てる
to
んですか。
avoid those bugs. Now I'm just sitting there waiting for one of them to attach to me so I can just drop down the ledge like that. And what happens there is you're supposed to have like a 5-second animation where you drop down from the ledge. Getting the bug attached to you, you can use the QuickTime prompt, that B button, and hit that the exact same time you hit the A button for the ledge, and it'll cancel out both animations.
一応ストーリーとしては、主人公が故郷に帰ってきて、で、帰ってきたけど故郷がもうすでになんか荒れ果てて、でそこからのスタートみたいですけど。
Just thinking, were you the one that found that, by the way? I can't remember.
I sure am,
Okay,
and let me
yeah.
tell you, that was fun. I was sitting, lurking in, I think Enigma's channel, and was just playing this semi-casually, semi-speed run, and I accidentally fat-fingered the A and B button there, and discovered it completely by accident.
Just to make it clear, I don't find any of this stuff. It's people like Schmumbler and Star One and K9 Dreams, Wildest. I'm just playing the game. I just follow their lead.
Yeah, this was like before you were starting to run the game too. So
Yeah.
Already
Back
finding
when it
tech.
took me over an hour to finish.
So right here, you're gonna see this a few times since this is all bosses. These conversation segments. There's usually 2 choices, sometimes 3. There's going to be a choice that is quicker than all of them just because it has shorter dialogue. So right there, he's just smashing Y. You know, you get some kind of context of the story, but it's really not important.
Oh, shoutouts to the QuickTime events in this game. If you do them too quickly, you fail them.
Mashing too hard.
さっき吸い込まれてたウサギを取り出しましたけど、これは何に使うんですかね。あ、なるほど。弟にぬいぐるみを取ってこいと言われたので取りに行ってますと。はい。
I'll tell you right now, if you ever speedrun this game, and you start mashing A at the very beginning, if you don't hit 7 seconds every single time, reset. Because your inputs got dropped because you mashed too fast.
Yep.
So, Alchemilla, this is like the first area. This is, a very popular
そうですね。
location
チャッ
in
ト
the
に
Silent
解
Hill
説、
series.
ゲーム知ってる
Probably
方
you
が
didn't
いらっ
see
しゃ
any
る
of the
と
cool
非常に
stuff that
助
you're
かり
about
ま
to
す。
see. This is actually one of the slower parts of the run, but from here on out, it's about to get really insane.
Yeah, it takes a little while for this game to get going, but when it does,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah, this part of the
Also,
game.
this is an unskippable cutscene too here.
Yeah, so like this is what I was saying. Like this game is front loaded with a whole lot of unskippable cutscenes, but there's cutscenes later you can skip. We don't really know why. There's no real rhyme or reason as to why they did that. It's just sort of a design thing, and it can be really excruciating to sit through some of these scenes. But let's be honest, it's it's not like somebody stuck a knife in your face.
はい、そうですね。三角は、主人公が被ってるやつ
Perfect
は、
timing, thank you.
コスチュームの変更が、入札のミッドウォーで、決まるので、コスチュームはこれで決定ですね。
Yes.
Gladly will. We have $50 from NGC Bassman saying, "Congrats to all the people that make an event like this possible. Awesome."
夢落ち。
As well, we have $10 from Blue Penguin 26 saying, "Audio cues, who needs them? Schmum doesn't. With his insane and unintentional quiet run, even when every other runner uses audio. Good luck, dude, and don't miss those clips. Hashtag bad dream."
Yeah, so that's talking about a segment later on in the game before we get to our second boss where you're kind of just completely blind, can't really see where you go, but whenever I'm playing this game, I don't have any game audio going, so I've had to learn how to use just the weird sparks in the background to tell if I'm actually making progress.
I, for one, use audio cues for that segment.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you can hear your footsteps, but I cannot.
So this is Alex returning home. This is his homecoming, per se. Now returning to his lovely home. This is not Silent Hill. I just want to make that very clear. We are not in Silent Hill. We are in Shepherd's Glen.
Yeah, and I just want to tell everybody that if you think this is going to be a normal run based on what you just saw, we just picked up a gun, and when you pick up a gun in this game, it is time to let all heck break loose, as you're about to see.
Yep, so
あ、これは自分の家なんですね。
just clip through the wall here, drop down out of bounds. We're in the kitchen, which is not loaded at this
これは
time, but just, casually going out the back door.
Yeah, easy.
That alone skips about 2 minutes.
ちょっとどこに落ちたのかわからなかったですけど。
All right, and now we're going into the cemetery, and this is this is a fun part. We're coming up on what pretty much all of the community loves to refer to as the pillar climb.
Oh boy, the pillar climb.
Yeah.
Of all the clips in this game, it's the most unreliable, inconsistent. And you'll get to see it. I did manage to fiddle around with it a couple weeks ago and find a way that's pretty consistent.
I was gonna say,
We'll see how lucky I get with it.
Let's say I remember you saying something, and I've stepped away from this game for a couple of months, so there's going to be a handful of things I haven't even seen. So I'm kind of excited to see this.
Yeah. So we're going to use the knife here.
I've done this.
And when you switch from the knife to the
なんか
pistol,
構えて
it
ますね。
pushes your hitbox forward a little bit. And now I'm
こ
going
れ
to
は
swipe down,
ちょっと悪いこと
move
しそうな。
forward, and look up very slowly. Because it turns out if you look slowly up, it has a better chance of shoving you
抜
up
けた。
on top of the pillar like
There it
that.
is.
And there is my guaranteed pillar climb.
So right here, he's not able to move forward like traditionally with like the stick, the left stick. He's actually doing what they call gun walking. So he's
これ多分ちょっとずつ前に進んでるんですかね。構えを何回もやり直して。
pushed forward. And this is also one of the primary reasons why we're able to clip through walls in general.
Yep. But all of this stuff is kind of the sketchy clips in the game. Be ready, because as soon as I pick up a shotgun, that's where everything just goes crazy.
Man. So back in the day, and this is probably maybe 6 or 7 months ago, we only had one particular method of clipping. Well, since one of our community members, Wildest, showed up, found out a different way of clipping that just made a lot of things possible in this game.
Yeah, and he just literally showed up out of nowhere.
No, he's just like, hey, I've been clipping this way for years. I'm like, what?
I know, right? And just turned everything upside down. While we're on that subject, shout outs to UFO Techie, by the way. He ran this at home. He ran
これも抜けそうですね。
last year, and this run has considerably changed since
ずー
Techie
っ
did
て
that
ちょっと移動してますけ
11
ど。
months ago, and Wildest was a big part of that with some of these different little techniques.
So right here, you're not supposed to be back here. Also, shout outs to the easiest and dumbest puzzle in the world.
Yeah.
You'd have to go inside. You'd have to get an axe to get into the hotel to get a key to come out here.
あ、また抜けようとしてる。
Time, and we want to save time, so we decide to clip.
まあ、多分本来鍵とか何かアイテムが必要な場所なのかな。
Kind of finicky. Definitely have to use the knife clip in order to like set all these up.
Yep. This these first clips in the hotel area, they're easily the hardest clips in this category.
Yeah, they are very tough.
ここはちょっと抜けにくいみたいですね。
100% agree.
Like you can see, I should be through by now. Oh, there we go.
There you go. You can see he gets a little pull and the screen will start shaking. And what he's going to try to do is get to the left. Well, I usually try to go to the left where the gate door is. I don't know if that's changed. I could be wrong.
No, it's just I need to be pulled a little farther into the fence before I go over. Otherwise, it'll push me out. So this is looking good. Now I just need to get over. There we go.
Nice.
Got it.
Then just let go of
なかなかうまくいかないですね。
slow push, but it's gonna be
There it
guaranteed.
is.
おー、抜けた。
The best way to describe this to anybody that may be just bewildered by what you're seeing is it's almost as if you have to manipulate the physics in the game to grab the character and pull you through things because of the way it works. I just learned this a few months ago, and by the way, shout outs to my couch buddy here, Starwin, who
また
sat
ここ
down
で
with
も
me in the practice
壁
room
抜
at
けよう。
HDQ for hours that one day to help me learn this, and then a few months later, all those strats changed. So.
すごいですね。抜けるならもう壁の種類を問わないみたいな感じですけど。
Know or understand what you're watching. Like you have to get the physics to grab the character almost.
If anybody wants to learn this game, we will teach you. If you see us at GDQ, be like, I'd like to learn this. Pretty sure we'll teach you.
It's easier to teach now too.
It's so much
It
easier.
sure is. So you see me jump across the gap here to grab the key to that gate that I already clipped through. That's because if I don't grab that and just hit the elevator button, the game crashes 100%.
And can we just talk about game crashes real quick? We're doing all these clips, all these sequence breaks, and the game handles it just fine. And this is one of the rare instances where the game breaks, like actually how it's supposed to, and it's pretty surprising.
Yeah, it's funny because like all of the main dialogue choices that determine your ending, you can skip all of them, literally every single one, and the game will just default to the negative choice.
Comes the best enemy in the game, the scissor legs.
Also, fun fact there, I don't know. Oh, damn. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Gonna be a little awkward.
うん。また抜けましたけど。ああ、外側が見えてる。
Alright, cool, no problem. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill myself.
So right there, that's kind of like think of it like the Ninja Turtles 2 game for the NES, where you're going up the elevator and you have to fight a bunch of enemies. That's pretty much what was happening here. Had to fight a few of the scissor leg enemies, and then the elevator would go down.
あれ、ゲームオーバーになりましたね。これは失敗ですかね。
Where he can just immediately go where he needs to go without fighting them, and if that will sometimes happen where you don't get the clip, you don't get the pull all the way out of the elevator door, and it's not a big deal because look where we're at.
It takes you right back to where you were. So
it's a beautiful thing that if something goes wrong in the game, you can just void out and
just
pretty
go
much
right
be back where you were.
Yeah.
And the nice thing too is, I mean, the elevator clip saves like 2 minutes anyway, so if you do fail it the first time, it's not really a big deal.
For sure, yeah.
And on that topic, in case anybody's wondering, this game is measured by real time because unlike all those robust result screens that you saw in the original first 4 Silent Hill games by the wonderful Team Silent, Silent Hill Homecoming tells you exactly nothing about your playthrough when you complete it. It doesn't tell you how long it took, doesn't tell you anything, so you have to time it on your own. So.
Yeah, it's Homecoming and Shattered Memories are the only 2 that don't have in-game.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna try to clip in.
Do it.
On the higher level. Yeah.
That being said, do you have time for a quick donation?
エレベーターの格子を抜けて、
Alright, we have $50 from Sasam saying, So glad to see Homecoming finally make it into a major GDQ event after all these years. Thank you for finally bringing us home, Schmumbler. Donation unofficially goes to Old Church Boost. Officially goes to Runner's Choice.
Sasam was one of the OGs of this game, formerly known as Dead Robots. Man, like, one of the main reasons why I picked up this game was because of Sasam. Sasam and Parallax, those are 2 of
め
the
っちゃガタガタしてますね。
super OG runners of this game. So thank you for that donation, Sasam. And hopefully you pick up this game again.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I always push for is more competition, and Sasam was one of the people to beat back in the day.
And here's the other thing is, I think this is the problem I think Sasam has is the not having the right hardware.
まあ、コスチュームの頭の三角はさすがに関係ないと思いますが。
On the Xbox One, the PC version is terrible. The PS3 version is terrible. It's practically unplayable. If you want to speedrun this game, you have to run this on an Xbox One if you want to do any kind of competition.
Yeah, Silent Hill Homecoming's PC port is one of the most historically bad PC ports in history.
Can we also talk about how it's $40 still to this day?
It's the only Silent Hill that Konami puts on sale on Steam. Can't get 2, 3, or 4, but you can get Homecoming, and when it's not on sale, its suggested retail price is $40 US.
Oh man,
this is not wanting to work.
Yeah, some of these little clips can do this, especially some of these early ones. There's one that we'll see upcoming in the prison where I can sit there for 2 or 3 minutes, but then on another run it'll just go through instantaneously.
Yeah, this game is notorious in the community for having a mind of its own.
なかなか苦戦してますね。
Like Enigma just said, there'll be a clip that you'd be trying to do forever in one run, and then the next run you get it first try. It's just how it is sometimes.
That's why Schmumbler gave this a very generous estimate, because some of this stuff can happen.
Yeah. At this point, I think I'd be fine even if it kicked me out and drops me. Just needs something to happen.
If worst comes to worst, you probably could just maybe gun walk out and then fall and then reset and then just do it the traditional way. It'd be a
これ、エレベーターの格子って2枚あるんですかね。ちょっと見えない。そう、2枚あるようには見えないですけど。
Tried to do that a little bit earlier and it was having none of it.
Oh,
It wants me
really?
to stay.
Okay. But maybe you have time for another donation while Schmumbler tries to get through this notorious wall.
Sounds like a plan. Well, we have a few here so far. Mentioning you specifically, Schmumbler. We have $5 from Brosef saying, Hey Schmumbler, congratulations making it into SGDQ 2020. You are my favorite horror and suspense game streamer, and I cannot wait for another horror/suspense run at the next GDQ. Good luck and keep working on that melee-only run. #BadDream.
There we go. All right, I'll take that.
あ、これは
We'll just do it the normal way.
Which is not, like I said, it
諦めたの
might
かな。
look like he's losing a lot of time. Trust me, it's the estimate he has is very generous.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It's not. This can do that. Hopefully,
ちょっと短縮幅がどれくらいかわからないので、諦めたのかどうかのちょっと判断がつかないですね。何か別のことを試しているような感じもしますし。
breaking the game, so sometimes the game can not cooperate ironically enough with that, so
For sure.
the game remembers
it's
that
not even wanting to give me the clip down here now.
it
See,
remembers
that's what we're saying earlier. When he fell, he got out of bounds super quick, and then
Immediately,
right here, it's like,
right here. There
Yeah,
we
that's
go.
normally how
こ
it is.
こは
Too.
抜け
The wall
て
is really thin.
あ、ゲームオーバーで
Now
すね、
you're
こ
gonna
れ。
get to see the Schmumbler fight all these scissor legs.
またやり直しですかね、これ。
And I think they're all in scripted positions, right? They all
Yes.
show up in the same spot. Yeah.
So
Yes.
the first one is actually 50-50.
Is it really?
It
Oh,
is.
is
It
it?
can go to the right instead.
You're joking. No way.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way. That's why I always equip the knife here. That way I don't have to figure out which direction it's coming from. I can just hold the knife ready and it'll auto aim me.
I'm speechless. I always thought it was because I always thought it was left, right, center, left, right. Like that's how I've always remembered it. But
It seems like that's how it normally is, but yeah, sometimes it's just this one will pop over to the other side.
that's silly. So right here, we should also talk about why this is New Game Plus, and it's obviously because of the laser pistol that he is holding. The laser pistol just does 1,000,000 damage to everything. So fighting bosses isn't going to be as challenging as it would be like in a New Game run. But the main reason a lot of the New Game Plus categories are way more popular is just because you can get the laser pistol immediately. So it's like 8 minutes into the run, you can start doing clips. If you were doing like 80% New Game, you'd have to take the time to do the game just traditionally until you get to Curtis, and Curtis would give you a pistol. And after that, then you can start doing clips, and that's when the game will start, breaking. And that's all. That's what, like maybe about 15, 16 minutes into the run. So
Yeah, yeah.
これ壁抜けはもうしなくなりましたね。普通に進むんですかね。
that was beautiful.
All right.
So this would be the hotel dungeon, and this is the door that we can't get through without a key. But remember, walls are just merely.
ああ、そしてまた別の壁を。
Also,
Yeah.
this is a method that you had figured out too. It makes it more consistent. That used to be
That
way
used to be a
harder
pain.
than what we just saw for sure.
エレベーターが多分特別難しかったんでしょうね。
Now, but it used to be really hard. You'd get stuck in that wall quite often.
There was the main reason that was so difficult was that we would be clipping in between two walls, and sometimes you'd get stuck in between the two, kind of like what happened with Schmumbler with the elevator. And sometimes you get pushed through the floor, and it's incredibly hard to get out. Hey, it's Mayor Bartlett. How's it going?
Yep. So Mayor Bartlett's our first person to meet. We're going to be fighting the
これは
monster
誰で
that's
すか
born
ね
from his son. Unfortunately, he's a little long-winded too. This is the fastest dialogue tree, and it's already a good solid minute and a half of talking. Yeah. Pro tip for this game: if you want them to stop talking as early as possible, just be mean to them.
そうですね。三角の頭なのは、コスチュームを決めるドネーションがありまして、まあ今回はブギーマンというコスチュームに決定しました。
That's fine.
Okay. All right.
That's fine.
All right. So here's the poacher. It's a big tree monster.
ああ、なんかでかいのが。
Laser pistol is really OP, so goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Axe to the head.
Yeah, we weren't kidding. It's really overpowered.
あれ、今の一瞬で倒したんですか
Using that
ね。
axe,
Our first boss.
using that axe that I didn't even pick up.
What do you mean? You've always had the axe.
Oh, this part's great.
Oh man.
So, yeah,
Here comes
This will be a great time for donations because I'm literally going to be sitting here for a straight minute
For sure.
waiting for Wheeler.
Sounds like a good time. We have a few as well. We have $20 from Friendly Frankenstein saying,
あ、
I
NG
see
プラス用の
that
武器。
place in
はいはい、なるほ
Restless
ど。
Screams. Silent Hill? Good luck with Alex's unfortunate spring break back home. We have $10 from Demonic Robots saying, "Hey everyone, so glad to see an amazing horror game speedrun able to be shown with some of the best running the game, on the couch and hosting. You all are awesome.
エンディング
Thanks
特
for
典
helping
部。
make
なるほ
this
ど。
event awesome." We have $30 from Takara84 saying, "Putting in my annual Silent Hill run donation. This run has been a blast to watch so far. Good luck on the rest of it." We have $100 from Maniaville.
I'm just trying to find my brother, okay? I thought the mayor might know something.
We have $10 from M2.
三角の、
Good luck on your run,
頭巾
Schmumbler.
被っ
The
てるん
Silent Hill
で、
community is cheering you
どういう
on.
顔してるのかもわかんないですね。
That we are.
What happened to Mayor Bartlett? It was some
So,
kind of creature. But worse than
Wheeler is probably one of my favorite characters in this game, even though he's by far the slowest.
No,
he has the best dialogue.
He is the best character in this game. He is amazing.
どっちが主人公かわからへん。
Hello, Wheeler.
So now we're in the, I guess the sheriff's station. Alex just explaining that the mayor was killed by some spooky monster, and Wheeler's like, "Oh, I've seen some of those. You're not lying." So he's gonna take us back to his office so we can get our weapons back. But right now, this is kind of like an auto scroller. Just kind of watching Wheeler slowly open doors, casually walking, except for one room where he likes to run to a door, which I wish he would do that all the time, but he doesn't.
Yeah. And a fun fact about Wheeler in this section, if you are not right up on him, sometimes you will not be registered as close enough for him to continue.
Oh, we ain't going that way. Nope. There's a bunch of spooky monsters that way. We're going this way.
Yeah.
For the spooky
Also, another shout out to Deputy Wheeler. According to Alex, he's got the best shoes.
What are those? What are those?
Yes. So this game has the same kind of thing as the other Silent Hills, where Alex will look at important items, and for whatever reason, in this particular spot, Alex decides that Wheeler's shoes are just the most important thing.
He has some cool shoes though.
まあこれは多分暇つぶしポイントですか
At
ね。
this point, why not? I mean, why not?
And here's a new enemy, and these are schisms that just have like axes for heads.
Oh, are we going to see the flying chair here?
Come on, chair.
Maybe.
Come on, chair.
Oh,
Good chair.
look at
RNG.
that.
There
It tried to
was.
block me.
So for some
It
reason,
tried so hard.
for some reason, when you skip that cutscene, that chair goes flying, and no kidding, it can stop in the doorway and block you, and it's
これは
so annoying. So instead
また
of
壁
using
を
the axe here to break down these boards, because that takes forever, we're going to go through walls because it's homecoming.
Exactly.
Yep. Gonna do that up in this next room too. This one's a little riskier because it has 2 schisms in it, but I'm just gonna knock them on their backs and... Oh, this one didn't want to go
That
down.
one always has the longest like
この
iframe
レーザーみたい
when
な
you
の
go
が
into the room.
エンディング特典武器なんですね。多分。
And
There we
looking-
go.
Let's say looking clean. Yep, nice.
See, yes.
Yep.
Now you see the difference between what happened in the elevator earlier and when it goes right there. When it goes right, it's just boom, like a knife through butter.
Oh, also we we also have the shotgun now, so we're actually doing a different type of clipping right here. So it's like we call it the quick switch. So you start with the shotgun equipped, and then you immediately like switch into the
この
pistol.
レーザーピストルが UFO
And
の
it
エンディン
just
グ特
causes
典
clips
だそう
to
です。
work
はい。
So quick and like first try. It's insane.
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, it's so much easier than what we used to do too.
And this is the method that Wild has found out, who, you know, casually comes in, "Hey, I've been doing this for years. You guys should be doing this." We're like, where were you?
And I think when he showed us the videos, he didn't even have a capture card. He just like recorded it on
No,
his
he
cell
did-
phone
yeah.
camera and showed it to us.
Yep.
So like something like this. The sewers used to be notoriously long. There was a very
また抜けてます。
method that,
Oh my God.
that I had figured out, and I called it the pinball, and it's right here. But since we can do this shotgun method now, you
もう
can-
あの牢屋の壁が
it allows
特
you
別
to go
強かっ
through
た。
gate-like objects and
あそこだけは抜けられ
doors.
なかった。
Doing the back and forth pistol strafe won't let you do that. For some reason, the shotgun quick switch lets you do this. So
Yeah, so that clip that he's mentioning was just to the right of where I clipped through that gate, and there's a valve wheel on the other side. And in this game, if you're not using the shotgun swap method, you can't go through physics objects, typically. So what you end up doing is you get stuck between that and the wall and have to figure out some way to move Alex underneath the valve over to the other side. And it took, no joke, like 4 minutes just for that one clip.
Yep. Let me just tell you, and that was like one of the main reasons a lot of people didn't run All Bosses New Game Plus. That was the hardest clip. Probably if we didn't have this new method.
はしごを降りるモーションをカット。はいはい。
Yeah, it was.
Also, shoutouts to the 3-wave enemy gauntlet here that we're just gonna ignore.
Yeah, this whole time we have our childhood friend L following us, and
もうあらゆる壁を抜けてますね。
gates and stuff, and surprisingly, she can follow you. Used to, you'd have to do this little gauntlet right here, and we would be miles away from L. But then, as we start to open the gate for her, she would appear. Thank goodness, though, there are parts where L is following you where she can get killed, and if she gets killed, you get a game over. But as long as you do everything pretty quick, it's nothing to worry about.
You know, the funny thing about that, too, is if you clip through a wall, she'll teleport with you. But if you're just going through normally, she'll take forever to catch up.
Yep. She sure does.
Also, here we're supposed to be going down the street and fighting 2 dogs to get to our next spot. But turns out you can just come through here, and there's a cutscene trigger on the other side of this chain link fence. So we're just gonna pop ourselves through and hit the trigger just like that. Oh,
like instantaneously.
Just like that. Also, I don't know if anyone's been keeping track, but typically when I get one of these runs into a marathon, I try to donate $10 for every failed clip. I think I've already done that 5 times. So,
maybe.
we're only like halfway through the run, if that.
Oh, we have 2 doors here, by the way.
変える時も抜けて。
For some reason, Konami was like, instead of just having 1 door and showing an opening animation, they'll just have an open door and a closed door, because I don't know.
Also, that door wasn't even locked. I don't know why I clipped through it.
You did clip through it.
All right, we're about to come up to something really good.
This is one of the coolest parts in All Bosses New Game Plus. He had mentioned it earlier. This whole dungeon
あ、この人4巻なんですか。まあ、ちょっとカテゴリーの種類がちょっとわからないですけど。
Out of bounds, but we're still in bounds. It's just that the game doesn't load everything around it. So he's going to be doing this whole next section blind.
Yep. And this is basically like a ladder maze.
Yes. Up, into the void. But no, we're good.
Yeah. So you see these little sparks floating around. That's my way of figuring out where I need to go.
これは成功してるんですかね。
So he's
Can't hear anything right now.
So he's looking for a ladder prompt. I don't know if you've gotten it already. I can't tell. There it is. Okay.
I got one.
There's like 2 prompts
So there,
here.
I go to the left of the ladder, go forward until I hit the save spot, and go down the ladder there. Now I go to the right of this ladder, go straight until I see a little bit of fog pop up in the corner. That tells me that I need to go to the left. And then I got stuck on something there for a second. But now I can go forward a little farther, wait until I get the next little bit of fog, go to the left again and forward, and that is the invisible ladder maze.
And he's actually already done with the dungeon.
Unbelievable.
And now we're actually about to get to the coolest boss fight in the series. And I said series. I think this is the coolest boss in all of Silent Hill. That is just my personal.
ナースは一番最初に出てきました。
Definitely one of the better designs, especially in Homecoming.
That's another
But
thing.
first-
While we're getting these dialogue options out of the
も
way,
うこれ以降ナースは出ないんですかね。
kicked on, for not being like a Team Silent game. This game has a lot of redeeming qualities. It's the enemy and boss design is amazing. The music's amazing. It really does have a lot of redeeming qualities that make it good.
I agree.
Last Silent Hill
agree.
game with an Akira Yamaoka soundtrack.
Yep.
This game was dangerously close to being like really
あ、
really
こ
good.
こはちょっ
Just all
と
these little things that
グロい
add up
描写
that
が
just
ある
kinda
っぽい
keep
で
it
す。
from being that.
Daddy forgot to bring you a present today.
And this is Doc Fitch, by the way. And you're gonna see meet his daughter, and here's his daughter. Big
いきなりボス戦ですね。
Scarlet.
Yeah.
It is
So
Scarlet.
you might be wondering why I'm taking this fight really slowly. This is the only boss where you can actually overload her and lock her into a T-pose, which makes her invulnerable for the entire time.
Yep. And what's really annoying is that sometimes she'll recover really quick, and
あ、イベントシーンはスキップされたんですかね。
So you really want to take this boss fight slowly. This second phase, however, it's just going to be quickly shooting her and doing the QTE before she goes off screen. Because she goes off screen, the fight gets kind of annoying.
Yeah,
and there's Scarlet.
Yep, that was a good fight.
And that was way. I watched the world record on this before a few hours ago. That fight went way better than the world record because the first phase she kind of got stuck and hit him. So that went very well.
銃一発でまあ膝とかついてたんで、よほど武器が強いんでしょうね。
Bit of a surprise for you.
Oh, sure. So this is a clip that I had found out thanks to another lab monster, Nanette. They're trying to figure out a way to get through this like maze and skip a cutscene. And I know this. Don't say this is a surprise. I know what you're doing. This is a completely different method. Used to you would go inside
あ
town
っと
hall.
壁を抜けて、なんかものすごい移動してますけど。
Wildest figured this out. And
yeah, he did.
Yeah. So he's pretty much in the town hall right now, and he's in the maze. And what he's trying to do now, he's trying to find the ladder that you're supposed to climb up to get to the cemetery. And this skips doing everything in the town hall, and doing it this way is a bit quicker than the method that I had originally found out.
Or it would be quicker if I got the clips, but
yeah, he's actually clipping blind, by the way, which is something again you could not do unless. Oh, did you void?
I messed it up. Yep, it's okay. So it
あ、
turns out
今、
if
トン
this
コツさん
happens,
から
it
エイ
looks
ドあ
like
り
it's a
ました
soft
ね。
lock,
トンコ
but
ツ
if
さん
you
は
get to the
この
edge of
後
the
深夜
fog
に、
where it typically turns you
スーパー
around,
ドンキーコン
it
グ
just
2を、
reveals the area.
GTK 本家で走られます。
Yeah. Yep, just like that.
Nice.
Wow, it actually loads the area. It doesn't just make the area appear. It just loads the area. Okay. All right.
トンコツさんは今、1時半ですかね、予定としては。
How the heck they figured out to do these workarounds to stop the game from crashing. But I mean, you can't really say that this game is badly coded because they have a lot of failsafes in here that you would never expect.
Yeah, which almost leads you to believe they knew you could do this stuff.
Mm-hmm. So Schmumbler is going to go ahead and do the method that was, I guess, the traditional method.
Yeah.
This allows us to skip the cutscene to get the ceremonial dagger, which is honestly it's another unskippable cutscene, and it's pretty lengthy as well.
Oh, the old way right here.
Yes.
Yeah, for some reason the
あ、
old way
これはまた
tends to
何か
be
儀式をして。
more cooperative, but it wasn't that time, so we're gonna try to brute force our way in.
At least with this method, you can see what you're doing.
Yeah, so when I went past the tree, you saw me drop down a little bit. That's when I hit right here. And then
You're supposed to do the pistol
when
walk.
I look at the tree, I'm aiming into this little corridor here, which is pushing me inbounds. Thing is, if you go too far like this,
もう現在地が全くわかんないで
it's
すね、これ
weird。that it's not wanting to
If I
push me
say,
down here
it's like,
either.
why are you not dropping?
Okay, hang on.
空中を浮いてるようにも見えますし。
Nervous. All right, that's all.
Like,
The
no.
physics system is clamming up a little bit.
Wow, this is okay.
I usually just
ああ、ここちょっと難しそうですね。何回かやり直してるんで。
like that, and that usually will do it every single time.
あ、落ちた。
There you go.
I have never had that much trouble there.
Yeah, I've never seen the angle that you were doing before. If it works, it works. That's the other thing I would love to explain, is that if you have a method of clipping and it's super consistent for you, do it. Even if the
Yeah.
record holder is doing something completely different, if it works for you, do it.
Yeah, let me just throw this out there that probably shouldn't try to replicate the things that I do because I do things very differently from everyone else. There's even a couple clips that I do that save like 3 to 5 seconds here and there, but if you mess them up, you end up losing like 10 seconds. Not really worth it, but I do it just for the hell of it.
So,
I'll actually be doing one of those when we get back into the Shepherd house pretty soon.
So now we are, as you can see, back in the cemetery. This is an area that you didn't see because we decided to pillar climb to get to the hotel. So now we're just doing a little bit backtracking. We're actually heading back to the Shepherd house.
Yeah, with the backtracking, this might be a good donation time, eh?
For sure.
Maybe?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. We actually have a donation from EBD03 saying, "Great to see Silent Hill back in GDQ and the horror community supporting a great cause. Good luck on the run, Schmumbler. Fingers crossed, cooperative walls, and quick kills." As well, I'd like to remind everyone that we still have a bid war going on for the ending choice.
今まで散々壁を抜けてきたんで、普通にドアとかコースとか開ける方がこう違和感を持ってしまう人が結構多いですね。
Make sure to vote for UFO. Do it, do it, do it, do it. I'm not being biased. Do it, do it.
If you want to help us get back on track, UFO is the way to go. Because the other endings, I have to do some extra clips that I normally wouldn't have to do. UFO is actually the fastest.
All right, we have $25 from Sage Escort saying, "I won't wake up early for anything, but I'm awake for this. Silent Hill runs are the best. Thank you for keeping SGDQ fun, even in uncertain times."
So I do actually want to go ahead and share a story about one of the previous donations. EO3, that's actually my wife. I love her very much, but she's pretty much the person responsible for me actually starting in this. I've wanted to speedrun for a long time. Never really had the motivation to do it though. We ended up going to AGDQ this past year. That, I think, was the big deciding factor for me. Also gonna grab a second laser pistol. Why not?
Yeah, the dude.
But my wife actually reached out to our wonderful host here.
手に持ってるのは、あ、武器結構コロコロ変えられるんですね。あ、また壁抜けて。
This was one of those
自宅、これ自宅ですよね。自宅やのに壁抜けてますね。開かないのかな、あそこ。普通に。
Yep, so blame Ecdysis.
Real quick, Schmumbler grabbed a second laser pistol. He has 2 now. That's very important for later on. I mean, very important. This game pretty much, think of it this way. The game likes to read the inventory as numbers. So you have 1 pistol, you have 1 axe.
ホラーゲームによくあるパズルゲーム。
1 laser pistol, 1 shotgun. So when you pick up another one, it changes that value to 2. There's going to be a segment later on where we lose all of our weapons again. But since the game just subtracts 1 from your inventory, well, guess what? 2 minus 1 is 1. So we get to keep the laser pistol for that area.
And yes, that is very crucial for the layer.
ちょっと壁抜け苦戦してますね、ここ。
Sorry, quick maths.
まあ明らかに壁抜けそうですけど。
I got a math trophy. I'm good with it.
Oh, and right here, Schmumbler's trying to clip through. Actually, what are you doing?
There we go.
He's doing,
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
He does like a little semicircle to drop a little further down in.
Okay, I was like, what?
Usually that's a lot smoother. That was rough. So that's another count for my messed up clips.
まあ壁抜けた後に床抜けたみたいな感じですね。多分。
That would bring you to 6. Yeah.
Hey, more money.
Yeah. For a good cause.
Absolutely.
And this is a part where I could very well be doing some more.
I'm gonna
最初の方に出てきたウサギが。
This part, I've always been a big fan of your menuing in this area.
また壁抜けて床抜けて。
And I don't know how many times I've had runs in 80% New Game Plus where I've just completely ruined a run by putting the wrong mask on right here.
So that time, not so clean because I tried to use the inventory.
You just had to
in fact,
jinx
this
it.
is the one point where you can't. So thanks for shouting me out while I fail it.
Commentator's curse. I apologize.
謎の仮面をかぶせました
Starwin did that
が
on purpose. That was a sabotage.
Yeah,
Well done, Starwin.
I come from the fighting game community.
で帰る時も壁抜け。
That's right.
I just
The
kinda passed that
FGC,
on.
we know it, yeah.
I apologize.
That clip right there through the door is pretty important because if you go the regular way, one of those schism enemies spawns there and you have to shoot it out of the doorway. And one of the weird things about Silent Hill Homecoming is that when you kill an enemy, their collision box temporarily expands to like 150% for a few moments, and that can be crazy if they die in that doorway.
So you mentioned that. I'm actually one of the few people that doesn't kill that schism. Even when I do go that way, I just hit it in the head and knock it away from the door.
Push it away.
For some reason, if you hit it before it reaches the doorway, its AI freaks out and it just keeps trying to go into that door even with the door closed.
Another thing I didn't know.
I didn't know that either because I always just kill it.
Yeah, so that clip actually doesn't save any time, but I hate dealing with
It just makes it a little more consistent, so you don't have to deal with that monster. Because if it dies in the doorway,
なんかなかなか変わった仕掛けでしたね。服に勲章を3つ乗せたら、なんか謎がどっかの扉が開いたのかな。
Yeah, there's so many good clips in the Nightmare Shepherd house. There's going to be a couple in the very last area. At least, are you going to go for the second one that I'm talking about after you do the knife puzzle?
Down in the
after the
basement?
knife puzzle.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I always have trouble doing that. It's like
I do too, but I do it anyway.
That's the beauty. Like you just want to do all the hard stuff.
ああ、これをなんか4つ点灯させたらこの扉が開くみたいな感じですかね。
So the clip that they're talking about, down in the basement, there's a corridor that you have to go down and back before you get to the stairs, and you can actually clip through the wall there, which saves about 3 to 5 seconds, but it's really hard to get clean. It's one of those times where there's like 2 different walls, so you have to have very specific equipment.
And there's pipes, annoying pipe.
Yeah.
So
Do that in just a few seconds.
shout outs to the omelet.
ああ、壁抜けて1階に
That
落
bright orange area
下に
is
落ち
known
て
as the omelet. That's an OG terminology.
So those bright light sources like that, fun fact that I learned the hard way, if you get a bad clip, you end up completely out of bounds. If you look at those lights, the game will crash. Maybe not immediately, but it will eventually.
Oh man.
This is the clip that we were talking about.
This is the clip that Enigma did first try.
Yeah, I did it a few hours ago for the first time.
Hey, so did
Look at that,
Hey.
see? There you go, see? It's
gonna go
almost
do
like
it.
the clips are on a calendar that knew what day it was, so it worked for all of us. Then
Nope, I'm gonna
tomorrow
go-
it'll work for
で
nobody.
これが謎解きで開けようとしてた壁ですね。あれ
I'll-
三角の頭巾が取れた
I'll go do it, and I'll be so bad at it. Sadly, here's another unskippable cutscene, and for some reason doesn't like to load the costume.
Yeah, this game's
Yeah,
really,
so
really bizarre about that.
I don't understand this one either because this is followed by 3 cutscenes that are skippable.
Yep.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. And this game has a weird little glitch where if you hit start right before the cutscene starts, it glitches out. So you're stuck in the cutscene, and if you try to skip it, it just fades out, then fades back in, and you have to watch the whole thing. So you have to be very careful not to try to skip the cutscene before it starts, or you're going to get stuck in cutscene heck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, this is probably a fantastic time for donations. This could be cutscene skips and a bunch of just walking.
Yep.
Sounds good. We have $10 from Oh My Queen saying,
Hey.
In my restless dreams, I see that runner.
戻りましたね。あそこだけやったみた
Promised
いで
me
す
you
ね。
would stop clipping, but you never did. Good luck, my friend.
あれはスキップ不可のムービーだっ
and
たと。
Enigma. You guys are the best. Shout out to the wholesome Silent Hill community and much love from the Devil's Pit.
Well, shout outs to you, Queen. Queen is the former record holder for Downpour.
Former because I stole it from.
And hey,
sorry.
she stole it from me. I had Downpour for about 8 months, and then Queen showed up and was like, "I want it." Now Schmumbler
Well,
was
then
like,
you stole it from me.
Hey, don't tell anybody about that. It doesn't matter. That's old news, Starwin. All right.
I don't want to play that game.
Dude, the other night, I did 2 runs on a sidetrack, but the second one, I was like, oh my gosh, I got down to 237 in second run. What the heck's going on? Didn't touch that again. I don't want to get stuck in that portal.
Oh man, we probably have enough time for what, like 2 more?
Yeah, this is just walking.
All right, sounds
There's gonna be
good.
another loading screen.
We have $10 from The Nust saying, "Look at this super reliable way of clipping this. I screwed it up, lol. Hashtag bad dreams." We have $50 from Spud W saying, "Hi from Japan. First time donator to GDQ. Thanks for entertainment and the cause. Good luck, players."
Okay, so that should not be a gold split, but that's okay.
Hey, take those.
Welcome to the prison. So
we're in prison, yeah.
With all the cutscenes we just skipped, Wheeler actually got captured. So we're here to rescue Wheeler, but sadly we're not going to see him at all.
ここも抜けるんですね。
Also, this gate
抜け方がなんかさっきと違うよう
so
な
I'm。just gonna go ahead and do this. Yeah, there's a lever right here that opens the gate, but really clipping through the door is faster.
That's another one of those clips where usually you can get it immediately, and then it could also keep you for 3 minutes. It's just
普通に開けましたね。
So if it gives you any
やっぱ
resistance,
難しかっ
go
たんです
pull
か
the
ね、あれ。
lever and just move on. Just like that.
Yep. So this is gonna be another blind section.
I love the prison so much.
Yeah, like Starwin said, we kind of just ignore Wheeler and leave him in his cell, and this is the way that you're supposed to go, just later.
Hey.
And we're actually coming up on the first decision, so we're gonna.
なんか鉄格子とか網状のやつの一部が難しいみたいな感じですね。壁抜けは。
Yes, please.
Do it, do it, do it.
All right.
Should have said no.
なんか何も見えないですけど、これは。
In a stunning upset, UFO Ending is won.
これ抜けてますよね。え？
$830.
いつの間に抜けたんだ。
So when you say stunning upset, what was second place?
Good ending with $140.
Oh, that was such an upset. Good job, guys.
Just
I'm
by a
so
little
proud of
bit.
you.
But we'll be seeing the UFO ending.
Ah,
I think this was actually one of the fan favorites, was it not?
Yes. Also,
Yeah,
great prison.
Yeah, it was
great
fantastic.
prison.
Like, we didn't even get time to talk about it. Like, you pretty much have to walk in a void, but if you walk him into a specific area, it just randomly renders the area back in. So, but that was so fast we couldn't even talk about it.
The way that works is when you're walking backwards with the gun there, and you go into the very edge of the tunnel you're walking on top of, it pushes you down into the tunnel a little bit, and the load-in trigger is being inside that tunnel. So if you don't do that, then you have to kind of trigger the cutscene completely blindly, and I've always been terrible at that. Starwin is really good at that. I could never do it.
Man, it was Enigma figured out a way, and I copied Enigma. And then I was getting good at it, and then Enigma was having problems, and then I have problems, and I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anymore.
That's just the way it goes.
So, fun fact, you can clip out here and completely skip the Asphyxia boss fight.
Oh, I know.
But this being all bosses, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, you can. This is some of the most recent tech that has come out for the game, and man, just being able to skip another boss fight is really useful.
あー、なんか黒そうなやつが。あ、でも華麗にする。
Because it's actually not even faster than just fighting and getting the quick kill. It's faster for the standard new game where you don't have the laser pistol, but it's exactly the same down to the second.
And speaking of Asphyxia, here's Asphyxia.
まあ、オールボスシーズンなんで、さっきのはボスじゃなかったんでしょう
Just
ね。
want to mention that this game came out before the Human Centipede movie
あ、
did.
こいつは倒すみたい
If
です。
somebody mentions it, but this game came out before the Human Centipede.
わー、これはでもグロいっすね。
Fast, but that was not the quick kill. If you get lucky, you can just unlock her right out the gate and go straight into the kill quick time event.
One of my favorite things about that boss is, you know, her name's Asphyxia, and during the cutscene after you kill her, Alex is actually removing her hands from her mouth, forcing her to
レーザー銃の攻撃力がちょっとどれぐらいかわからないんですけど、さっきのボスが3発か4発ぐらいで沈みましたね。
Really good. So we're in the.
This is also going to be a really fun part.
Yeah, we're in almost the last little area of the game where it's like the church and the lair. So it's a lot of stuff that gets skipped here. Because me and Starwin, we remember the old way.
So many revisions.
We remember the old way of this one.
So Sam had donated earlier talking about the OG pillar climb in this area, the original way of doing this. You don't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We don't do the 3 clips anymore because there's a more consistent. That's right. There's a more consistent method now.
あ、これは
We knew that we could go through this, this
床抜けか
organ right
壁
here
抜け
to
か。
get to the end of the church, but it was always so finicky. And recently, Schmumbler had figured out a more consistent method of getting through here.
This may be perfect. First try, nailed it.
Wow,
oh man,
dude.
That one can be finicky too. Perfect.
これなんか
But I failed the easy one.
見えない壁があるのかな
So that skips
ちょっと止まってましたけど今。
There is a part in here where we actually talk with Alex's dad, and we have the option of forgiving him or not forgiving him. And since we completely skip it, it automatically chooses that you don't forgive him. Not sure why it does that. It just does. So that's the church. That's a pretty. It's a lengthy dungeon, but it's still pretty long if you do it casually.
It takes a long time if you do it. Yeah, if you do it the normal way, and that's another thing. Like,
ちょっとコスチュームが変わりましたけど、これ強制なんですかね。
Casually, it is one of the longer games. This one, Forward and Downpour, very long games casually.
And we are actually in the final dungeon. I had mentioned earlier about. Oh, actually, I'm gonna let this cutscene roll. I'm not gonna talk.
Oh yeah, this is very iconic.
何これ
Also, I don't know why, but that intro section has been like fast forwarding for me lately. Really weird.
Judge Holloway is not a very good dentist. Well, at least she's going for the mouth now, but I think Alex needs to show her exactly where. Oh, there we go.
あー、反撃し
Best line in the game. There we go.
Sorry, my throat was coughing.
ドリルで顎を
As I was mentioning earlier about the dupe pistol and everything being subtracted, -1, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? We have a pistol now. We still have...
Thanks for saying that, because I was going to go grab the pistol.
今のはまあイベントシーンでしたね。ボタン連打とかが出てたんで、でまた壁抜けて。
This game's fun.
This game just is it's full of stuff. All right, so here's the new thing.
Fun fact. Oh, I didn't get it. So I've actually figured out that if you hold down the camera there and walk forward, when you flip in, it'll just shove you right to the top of the pillar right away.
So you found a consistent pillar climb, is what you're telling me?
Yep.
I'm happy. When I inevitably come back to this game, I'm gonna.
ああ、これ壁抜けなんか手間取ってそうですけど、抜けた。
Like every month or two lately.
Oh, every week.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
So we're gonna do a bunch of series of clips right here. And then we have one more clip right here, which is going to trigger a cutscene. The main reason we have to do this clip right here is if we need to get to Wheeler, and in order to get to Wheeler, you have to break some glass. But that glass doesn't load because we do a bunch of clips.
Yeah. So actually,
ドアをなんか裏から開けてるみたいになってますけど。裏世界から。
Yes. And we are actually coming up to what was notoriously the hardest clip in the game, but since the homie Wildest came and was like, hey guys, this is how I do it, we're just gonna skip a 1 and 30-second puzzle and just immediately go to the final boss.
Yep. So going into the final boss, this is a really easy one, just 1, 2, phase 2, 1, 2, done. So gonna go ahead and start mentioning, we have a really good community for the Silent Hill speedruns. You can find that by going to speedrun.com/shh for Homecoming, or you can go to any of the other Silent Hill speedrun pages.
時間的にもそろそろラストなんですかね。あ、これラスボスなんですか。
Also, I just recently finished. There's time.
Time, yeah.
ああ、GG.
But I just recently completed a tutorial for any % New Game Plus, featuring all of the new tech that we've discovered in the past several months. I haven't done an all bosses tutorial yet, but I'm planning on making one. Other than that, thank you so much to Enigma Starwin for joining me on this run.
Also, your time was 59 flat.
59 even. So even with all that nonsense earlier, that was still underestimate. So
あ、そういえばそうですね。エンディン
That
グ、
was
エンディング
by
チョイスあ
far
っ
the
た
worst
んですけど、
ride I've had in a long time.
hey, welcome to
But it's
GDQ.
okay, it
こ
was
の
fun.
後にエンディングですか？
This is why you give those hefty estimates, just to.
Ufo エンディングで、まあ変わらないはずなんですけ
Especially
ど、
for any prospective GDQ runners out there, make your estimates very generous, free, because you never know what'll happen.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that this game just
仮面の上から顔に手を添えてますけど。
every time I have played this game, something new comes up that I've never seen before.
It's true.
And usually it's a bad thing, but it keeps you on your toes. I appreciate that.
You know what I'm excited for? This UFO ending that's about to happen.
Oh yeah.
This is the gold combination. Besides like getting the worst ending in the game or the bad ending, this is great. UFO ending, Bogeyman helmet. This is beautiful. This is such a beautiful ending.
Yes,
We'll
it
just-
is.
We'll let it speak for itself. Look at that man right there. Just. Oh man, as his helmet clips into his body. Also, earlier you saw Alex get pierced in the leg and run with no problems. All of a sudden, his leg hurts. Also, he's grabbing the wrong leg. Fun fact.
You're right. I never noticed
He
that.
got drilled in the left leg, not the right. Hey, it's Elle, that girl you.
また知らない人が。
Yeah,
あ、
first time we've seen.
あー、UFO 来た。
Wee.
あー、
Pyramid Head's gone. Goodbye, friend. Wheeler, known in the actual lore of the game, is a conspiracy theorist. So he's always believed that aliens were the problem. And it looks like he was right.
あ、消えた。え、終わりですかこれで。
All right, so that is
さらわれて終わ
Homecoming.
り。
Thank you all so much for letting me show this off here. This is by far my favorite category for this game. Please, if anybody wants to run this game, reach out to us on Discord. I would be happy to show anyone
Yes, we have
this game and how to run it.
We have
All
a
around,
Silent
yes,
Hill
sir.
speedrunning Discord. Come on in. Like it
Yes,
is-
please do.
It's one of the most inviting speedrunning Discords. It's incredible. I always talk about it every time we're on one of these. Come on and join it. And Homecoming is a game that is robust with new folks because the strategies get a little bit more streamlined. So come on in.
Yep, but that said, I know we're a little behind schedule, so I'll let you guys go ahead and take it away.
Bye, everybody.
終わりましたね。以上、サイレントヒルホームカミングでした。まあ喋ってる、ゲームのことを何も知らなかったので、喋ってる文章の多分7割ぐらい壁って言ってたと思いますけど、はい、お疲れ様でした。まあ、続いてのタイトル、まあ、準備してまいりますので、少々お待ちください。
Alright everyone, what a homecoming run. It's always fun to watch Pyramid Head glitch through all the walls in that one. We're going to be running a quick Twitch ad, but before that, to say thank you for having me, we'll be sending it on over to An Eternal Enigma for the next hosting block.
Well done. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.